Give a big round of the hand. Give a big round. Give a big round. Give a big round. Give a big round. Give a big round of the hand. Give a big round. Give a big round. Big round. Give a big round. Give a big.
We could have homes on separate coasts, go dive in Greece with squids. Could have been so bleeping rich, but instead we had kids. They won't smile for a photo, they won't eat the food we choose. That's why we're heading to the Parents' Lounge to drown ourselves in booze. Every day we're more exhausted, we haven't slept in years. They hit me in the nuts so bad, my eyes filled up with tears. And yes, we'd like to fake our death and go off of the grids, but the truth is we are softies and we truly love our kids. So join us every Tuesday night to laugh at all our pain. Evening in the Parents' Lounge is the cure to staying sane. Welcome to a very special Parents' Lounge show this evening, this Tuesday Parental Mental Health. We have a real hootenanny barn burner for you tonight because I know, it's crazy. I just shoveled a burger into my face because that's how parents eat after swim practice when they have eight minutes.
Brandon.
Right, listen, we have such a fun show. Jason Gowan, Jamie Kaler, Justin Ruppel, Kate Mulligan, the regular recurring portion of the show. And tonight, our very special guest, one of my oldest friends in Hollywood, dude. We met auditioning for a theater company in the early 90s, I believe it was.
At the water fountain.
At the water fountain. You'll know him from The Guild and a million TV shows, improviser extraordinaire. Mr. Jeff Lewis is here tonight.
Thank you.
I just saw you on Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
It's true.
I always get people they text me and they go, sometimes they'll go, hey, I saw you. But a lot of times I get text messages that go, hey, I saw Jeff Lewis on such and such. And I'll be like, why are you texting me again?
Well, I'm in a hotel room and I'm like, I remember seeing you on Friends. It was so weird.
Yeah.
Batch of Basil Hayden's, baby. Come on.
Batch of Basil Hayden with Matt Perry. I don't know what that is, but yes.
Yeah.
Jeff, tell everyone you have two children. Now they are in 7th grade and 6th or 6th and 8th?
5th, 7th and 5th. One is
7th
finishing elementary school and one is the second year of middle school and very not enjoying middle school. Middle school is not for the weak of heart.
Is that right? Why?
It's going from where you're on fluffy clouds and you're just enjoying loving life and all your friends and everything's so cute and fun to suddenly this huge pool of people and smells and a lot of anger. And it's just this huge, and it's just it's a big change. And you don't really learn anything anyway.
Like Jason?
What? When did the Fluffy there? I didn't get Fluffy out of the gate. They were feral raccoons. I don't.
You don't remember elementary years being just sunshine and lollipops?
Well, no. Justin, my son told the camp counselor that I was dying, and he started to go fund me for our family and kept the cash.
That's true.
Wow.
That's absolutely. By the way, how much did you guys make so far off of that?
He made $25, and I have not seen my cut.
No, that's not cool at all. Well,
Jason,
to be fair, you're not going to be around for it, so he doesn't care.
True. And Jason, can your kid be my agent?
Oh, absolutely. I'm raising a tiny Zach Morris.
It's funny you say that because my daughter's still in grammar school and she's like losing her mind. We just got home from swim practice and I had to go to In-N-Out. We're not sponsored by In-N-Out, but it's pretty good. We just shoveled one in and she's like in tears because all of a sudden 5th grade is when homework gets serious. She's like, Dad, you don't understand. In 5th grade is when all the homework starts to come out. And I was like, oh, okay. All right. I guess that's happening. But it's so funny because they're still at that phase where they had tryouts for choir today. She did choir last year, and it was such a small group of kids last year that she was super excited. And this year, everyone saw them perform a handful of times, really fun shows at the church or whatever. And so everybody turned out today, and they had choir tryouts. Grammar school.
So it was a huge
tryouts.
Oh no!
I don't think anybody got cut. I think tryouts in grammar school are like sign up. So yeah, and then I think middle school is when it all starts to go awry. I feel like.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You can't
but
say winners and losers.
But there are leads and bit parts, right?
There are leads and cameos, and I just got background. I got background in choir. That was all I got was stand-in. Yes, Kate.
I just want to let everyone. I hope, Kayla, that just so you know, I'm coming for your throat right now. I want to lift the curtain because right before the show started, Kayla is shoving a burger in his mouth. He's like, "Yes, you gotta keep it professional here. Why would you just give it to?" So we want to. It's a real show. We want to just keep it. All right, let's wait for each other. Let's be professionals. Fries on the screen.
Fries. I have nothing to eat.
I have a private sponsorship deal with In-N-Out, by the way. They have
Whoa, those are In-N-Out fries? Those are crap fries, bro. Come on.
That's what a burger's all about.
Well, apparently getting them well done is the game changer.
It is the game changer.
Oh, you can do that?
What happens to them when they get well done?
They're finally crunchy.
That's right.
Okay.
They leave them in the fryer long enough that you can get the saturated fat.
Yeah.
Oh, that's where I live.
But have you done drive-throughs? Like the line, it takes like an hour.
That's why
to get.
I was in line for like 40 minutes to get.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
But let me ask you this, because every weekend we go to the grocery store, and when we go, look, we're cooking at home. We are going to eat at home. We are going to make meals, vegetables. There's chicken breasts. I have ground beef. I have all these meals like tofu, eggplant parmesans on the menu for the week. And then you walk out of swim practice and you're like, dude, In-N-Out. Does everyone else do the same thing?
Yeah, sometimes. Yeah, just too tired.
It's just too easy.
Get a pizza. We used to have a couple frozen pizzas. We're like, fuck it. Let's just get a pizza. I mean,
I have like 6 of them out there. The CPK frozen ones, I cook them up all the time.
Do you go to the store with a kid? Because there's always a tax too of taking a kid to the grocery store. You got to buy them something every single time. I don't know if you
not only do you have to buy them, but be careful what you're doing, guys, because as the only parentless or the only childless parentless Freudian slip. The only childless one. I remember that after soccer or baseball, if I went home and there was a route to go home on the freeway from the soccer fields or the baseball practice fields, and if we passed the exit for our house, I knew I was going to McDonald's.
So they wouldn't tell you. They wouldn't tell you. They would just drop it as a surprise on you.
Yeah, it'd be like, I'm like, oh, do I hear the turn signal go on? Are we taking this exit? No, we're not. I played well today.
It's gonna happen.
Well, so for those of you who don't
reward them, just surprise them. That's what I'm saying.
The kids do love. My wife sometimes tells the kids like the plan for like 3 weeks. Maybe we'll go do this, and then it's like, don't do that. Don't. They're on a need-to-know basis. Don't say anything. Oh, yeah. Hey, what does Tom Hanks think about that?
My ball!
Well, listen, Justin, I was going to ask you because, In-N-Out's a very California establishment. Jeff Bridges probably grew up going to In-N-Out. And I think he used to do an ad campaign for In-N-Out, didn't he?
It's right next to the freeway, man. Walter, we're not going, damn it. All right? What? Why? In-N-Out Burgers next to the freeway.
Hold on, Stephanie, that's the best joke so far. She goes, wait, is there a new restaurant chain called The Grocery Store? I'll go if that's the case. I swear to God, we go to and my wife buys so much food. And I go, Kate, it's, the grocery store is not only open on Sunday. I can go back any day. Stop loading up on so much food because then invariably the middle of the week hits and you're like, I can't cook. Let's just go to CPKs. I can't do
Well,
it.
that's what freezers are for. We have so much food in the freezer.
Yeah.
But don't you leave it in the
Oh.
fridge for a few days, and then by the time you remember the expiration date's already like, I should have
Oh,
frozen
yeah.
it. Should've
Oh
frozen
yeah, we go on a veggie or fruit. You know, we have a kick going, and then you end up throwing out 4 pounds of celery and spinach.
We had a thing. Sorry, Kate, go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna say I'm actually curious to know like what's everybody's most thrown out food in their house. For us, I always I'll go to Costco because it's my happy place, and I'll come back with blueberries, I'll come back with blackberries, I'll come back with raspberries and strawberries. And we eat berries constantly, but you cannot eat berries fast enough for them to not get. So every week we are throwing out raspberries.
You can't
Without
buy
fail.
produce. You can't buy produce at Costco.
No,
I've tried
gotta-
it. We've
yeah.
all tried it. Especially like when you buy it's like a 6-pack of avocados or something, and they're rock hard, and then all 6 are gone. You're like,
You have a
Exactly.
10-minute
Yes,
window
I
where
missed
they're
that
ripe. So
window.
it's they're hard. That 10 minutes and then useless.
yeah.
You got to
Well,
have
even-
a banana party because there's so many bananas in the Costco. It's insane.
You can't call it a banana party though, Jeff. I've tried.
Wait, maybe I should change that. Yeah.
I'm not accepting that invite, just so we're clear. I don't
You're going to
want-
our banana party, okay?
No, I don't want to go to your
No, you'll be at the banana party. Trust me. And
Hey,
by the way,
No, I
by
love
the
the
way,
banana party.
you're the
I
only
feel
woman
like
going to the
Kate
banana
would be
party.
the
Mulligan.
MC of the banana party.
I love a good
This
banana
thing
party.
on.
We get that's our next T-shirt. Somebody make the T-shirt the banana party at Costco.
Nothing
I'm
spoils
gonna-
at a banana
I'm out
party.
there. Jeff, are your kids good eaters?
Yes, I know, not really. Yes.
What? He goes, yes.
Um,
No, they're terrible.
By instinct, he lies up. That's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, smart.
You're a very positive liar.
They are, and then they're not. But my son is good, but my daughter's very picky, and she's also celiac. So she has.
Oh,
We have a whole thing going on there with having to pick certain foods, but they're pretty good. I don't
What
know.
exactly
they're
is
okay.
celiac? It's
Gluten.
the lining of your intestines doesn't
Oh, she's
digest
right
the
here.
food properly or something.
What is celiac? She
It's
can't
a-
have gluten.
But
Oh, so it's a
it's-
gluten-free thing.
but it's like, and Jeff, you can, so like alopecia, which my son has, it's an autoimmune disease. So it's
That's what I
actually
wondered.
his own immune system when it is, so it's like, she probably can't be near gluten. It's not like there are people that are like, I'm gluten intolerant. That is very different than what celiac is. Celiac is
Yeah.
like quite serious.
Yeah, she says okay with it, but she definitely. I mean, she can walk into a bakery,
Yeah.
and with them. But and I have psoriasis too, so that's all another autoimmune.
Yeah.
It's
I had
crazy.
horrible eczema as a kid. I kind of grew out of it a little bit in a weird way. It didn't but when I was a kid, it
pretty
used to be
good.
like in the joints of my, oh my God, in the middle of winter when it was super dry air. Oh, so awful.
Quick, everybody say a disgusting word
Yeah.
of what they have. Okay, we got psoriasis, we got
Scoliosis.
eczema, we got alopecia.
I had ringworm.
Oh,
Oh,
You did not.
went-
Did you really?
Oh, you guys.
Oh, dude. Tell
You remember when we were, Jason, you looked like you wrestled. No?
I was actually a pro wrestler for a while.
There you go. See, then there you go. Wrestling. Yeah.
is that the one that comes out of your butt?
that's
In
ringworms.
the ringworm.
Thank you. The ring. The ringworm. I think the reason they called it that is because it's circular in shape, but it lived in wrestling mats a lot because of the fungus, and like a lot of the wrestling team would like rub their head in it, and I got it on like the side of my head and on my face, and as like a 14-year-old, it caused all the hair on the side of my head to disappear, and so like, but it left like this big scabby wound. So I was cutting my hair like Forrest Gump. I was cutting it like and shaving all this just to highlight the wound.
I just
Wait
wanna
a
say
minute.
something.
We got to start listing some of these. They're going too soon.
I know they're very
Autumn's like, my husband has psoriasis and psoriatic arthritis. Are
That's
those
both
related?
autoimmune.
I always wondered about that. Is it the psoriasis that causes? Why is it psoriatic arthritis?
It's basically
It gets in your
attacks
joints.
the joints. It's
Oh,
psoriasis
yeah.
that instead of attacking the skin.
So are you in danger of that, Jeff?
It could happen. I take an injection now. It got so bad at one point. I take a shot every month because I
Humira.
was doing. What's that?
Humera.
No, this is called. I can't remember it. I can't remember the name. I'll think of it.
How did people survive in the 1800s, by the way?
They didn't. They were all dead at 36.
That's true.
What
They
are you
died at
talking
36.
about?
Autumn also says, I have hypothyroidism.
I've got Hashimoto's hypothyroidism. That's my autoimmune disease.
Is that true?
Here's the thing you don't do is you never let your daughter see. She asked about psoriasis and she wanted to look it up, and they show the worst
Not the
pictures,
yeah.
like the
Of course,
worst possible cases.
Of course, they
Yeah.
always do.
They're
Did
like,
she-
it's
did she wanna know
ball-sack
about-
psoriasis?
Does she want to know about blue waffle?
No,
No.
stop
What is
it.
that?
Sorry.
Please
We had a
don't
whole
let them
show
start
dedicated.
again.
I don't know what it is. I was
just
we
got
don't
my
know.
targeted ads cleaned up.
I
Please
was told
stop.
not to look at blue waffle, Jeff. Have you ever heard of this thing?
Stop saying
What?
it.
Now I have to look it up.
No, you don't.
No, I've heard don't.
Oh,
I've heard don't.
You want
I've
to
heard-
sleep tonight, Jeff? You
I've
would like
heard
to sleep.
don't. Isn't it funny if you look up like pimple, it just doesn't go to some kid from 1974 who has one like here. It's like where their whole face is like one enormous, like that's the internet for you. You want to see pimple? I'll show you a pimple.
Well, here's what's so funny to me, and this is something that I think you guys have a really good view on as parents. The language has gotten more hyperbolic every generation, right? It used to be, wow, that's neat, or that's cool, that's awesome, that's literally unbelievable. And you're like, at the level of step up
Yeah.
that like the kids now, like the kids of that I'm listening to in like colleges, their phrases are so grand. Dude,
Yeah.
that's a great car. On God. On God?
Is that
Like,
a term? I didn't know that. That's
Yeah,
funny.
as in I swear on God. Like on God, bro.
So the Jesus
My
one
God.
says Viagra has cleaned up my pimples and my blue waffle. Double score.
What is?
Oh,
Does
so blue
Viagra
waffle has to do with.
does Viagra help clear up things?
The Jesus
I don't-
one knows how to really ruin your SEO searches. That's what's
It
happening.
does not clear up anything.
Oh, is that right?
I just got them cleaned up. This is terrible.
I mean, it does make something go up.
Yeah, Jamie, I do remember when I texted you one time and asked you if your testicles were ever ringing.
No,
I had a
no
period
regular-
where my testicles were. I thought maybe I had a cell phone in my pants, but it was just. I can't explain it. They were.
It was
ringing.
probably a collect call, Jeff. You should.
I know it sounds so weird, but that's exactly.
It was kind of jingle balls. Did
Yeah,
it?
it just felt like there was a vibration.
You had jingle balls. That's
Yeah.
that's
I
a
had jingle
term.
balls.
It's a terminology of jingle balls. It's
Was it
cyratic.
like when you hit your elbow and it's like one? Was it like
Yes,
that?
That was it. My funny testicle bone.
Oh man.
No, it's
By the
not
way,
really.
You've had so many of those crazy stories. Somebody asked something about a college story. Was that a real question? This is half the fun of this show, is that people said something about you talking about a story. Is Jeff going to tell a story about how in college he attacked joints? Is that a story?
I just smoked a lot of pot. I smoked a lot of pot.
Oh, that was
Like
you,
a-
Jeff.
I was the one.
Jeff went to
I was
UT.
kind of,
He went to UT Austin, which is UT, I believe. That's the Texas, right?
Hook 'em
You
horns.
didn't
College
you
where people
you
would
used
just
to
say-
deliver donuts too, right?
Oh
you
my
delivered donuts.
God, he delivered.
did.
Donuts.
Can I tell you what my schedule used to be? Can I talk about?
You
I
can.
think
No, I think you can.
Um,
We're good.
I used.
And by the
to,
way, just so everyone out there knows, Jeff is a parent. He has 2 children. He's going to tell you stories that are going to go, wait, that guy has kids? That's the point of this show. It's so the people who watch this show go, oh my God, yes, I'm a disaster as a parent, but not as much as those guys. Go ahead, Jeff. Tell that story.
I delivered donuts from about 9 to 2 in the morning. No, I'm sorry. I delivered pizza from about 9 to about 2 in the morning, and then I would come home and I would get 3 hours of sleep, and then I would get up, do about 3 lines of Coke, and I would deliver donuts in a donut truck from 5 to 8 in the morning, and then at 8 a.m. I would go to school. I would go
Yeah.
to my classes till about, I don't know, whatever it was, 8 to 2, get a few more hours of sleep, and then do it all over again every
Toot,
single
toot.
day for months.
If you had access to the Coke, why even bother with the sleep?
It's a good question. I needed
Thank
to get
you.
a little bit, but I should have just gone right to the Coke. Yeah,
Yeah, but that was
Why- why-
that was 90s Coke. That's
Real
like,
Coke.
it wasn't good stuff.
Yeah.
it's
Kate.
actually 80s Coke, and it was basically like
Oh,
it's like a Monster Energy drink. That's nothing.
yeah,
There's nothing
yeah.
about that Coke. Honestly, everybody did it. It was just in food. They had like you would go to like a Pizza Hut and they'd have Parmesan and
Yeah.
Coke, and you would just
That
put it on
that
your
Coke
pizza.
was
That would
was
just be
Coke.
better.
It was Coke.
Uh,
Nowadays, kids go like, "I have a soccer game today. I'm going to have 17 Monster Energy drinks," and they're like, "Why is my heart exploding out of my chest?"
50 miles.
Oh my
Our
I, by
God.
the way, wanted to take a moment to tell young Justin Ruppel, who had a giant ringworm scab on his head, "Hey, buddy, don't worry. It's gonna get better. Someday you're gonna have 2 wives. Okay, buddy?
So, Jeff,
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Thank you, Kate. I
Justin
needed.
has
Buddy,
no-
you're gonna have 2 wives.
and
okay?
also when you lost hair on one side, you just got to shave the other side, and you have a mohawk. You're like a wrestler guy with a mohawk. The whole thing
and a
fits.
scab.
But yeah, but
Yeah,
it's a scab.
I feel like you could make that spread pretty
Yeah.
easily, even it out.
Yeah. Jeff, what's the worst injury / illness you remember having ever?
I had chicken pox during Hell Week at my fraternity.
Ladies and
So-
gentlemen,
You took the assignment literally.
I
Good for
had
you.
Bro.
we
were
had
you
to
the
sleep in
only one?
same-
But you didn't have as a kid then. That's crazy.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened. I just was in a room with 26 other pledges. We had to stay in the same room in the fraternity house and couldn't change our clothes and had hard-boiled eggs in our underwear, and we all got chicken pox, and it was horrible.
That's considered hazing. I think you could sue. Nowadays, you would
It's-
sue.
I would, yeah. Nowadays, you can't do anything. There's no hazing.
How come there was
my prom?
Justin?
How many of us have had the adult chicken pox, the shingles? Any of us in here?
Not
Any of
yet.
you guys-
Jamie's the right
I-
age for it though.
I have.
Did you really?
Yeah, it was
I
bad.
just got the shot.
I had it.
the Second
I
shot.
had it. Good job, Jeff. I had it. I had a dramatic car accident, and it brought shingles out because of the stress. So I just want to remind everybody, if anybody is in here over 50, go and get the shingles vaccine.
I did too.
Wait,
My
you're
mother
not
had
over
it
50, Rebel?
horribly. My
No,
mother
I'm not.
Oh, okay. I was like,
My mother had
You
it
can't
in her
get it.
80s, and it was gruesome. It was really bad for her. Yeah, it's bad.
It is, and you can get it under 50 easy. I mean, it's an adult onset. It only happens if you've had the chicken pox.
Chicken
And then
pox.
so the virus just lays dormant in your body until you have a horrible car accident or some other stress-inducing event.
Some super stress-inducing event.
Dark
Or-
Lord says
No,
as a
I'm
kid, my
stressed
mom
every
had
day.
shingles.
Oh
I had it, yeah.
shit!
Oh,
Nice.
Rudy.
Shingles is it's wicked.
I'm very
man.
Jewish. This is not good.
Well, let me ask, Jeff. Let me ask: Was it
Yes.
was your chicken pox in college? Was it mild or intense?
Pretty intense. It was like those little watery
Pustules?
All yes,
Okay,
I
that's-
pustules all
believe
over
they're
my
called
body.
pox, like a chicken pox.
Yeah.
Like,
Well,
yeah,
that's good.
Pustules. Yeah.
That's good because it's a lesser symptomatic one when it's shingles. But if you had a weak case when you were a kid, it's going to be a kick in the pants when you're an adult as shingles.
Now what? Now if you get the shingle shot, can you get shingles or just milder?
No, it'll keep it in remission for a long period of time.
Good to
It's
know.
a
By the way, the
sleeping pill.
shingle shot hurt badly.
Really?
Oh
Yeah,
yes,
the
it
shingle
did.
shot hurt.
The
Somebody-
second one.
They got the first one, and they say that the second one is the worst of the two, so they didn't get the second
Yes,
one.
the second one
Oh.
kicked my eye. Yeah,
It hurt like physically. I thought like the next day I was like, I break my arm. Like it really
It
hurt,
really
man. We're
hurts.
like,
It really
and that's why when my kids are like, they still like, anytime we go to the doctor, my kids are like, am I getting a shot? Am I? And I was going, you're definitely getting a shot. I
Can
tell
I
them they're
say
getting
something?
one every time.
The
Yes.
shots when I was growing up, they're better now. The needles are better or thinner or something because it doesn't hurt as much. These needles were huge when I was growing up. Like,
You're exactly
Now they're like-
right.
yeah,
They're the thinner capabilities that we have of manufacturing means that
Oh
it
my
doesn't hit as
God.
many nerves. It can miss nerves and shit. It's nice. It's nice. I remember when I used to have to get my blood drawn a lot as a kid. And when they invented the butterfly needle, that was a
Oh.
big deal. They were like, "Yeah, this
right.
is a big deal." I'm like, "Oh."
I actually believe Jeff Goldblum invented the butterfly needle. If I'm not-
As it turns out, there were first incarnations. It was called the flywheel.
that was taken, I believe. That was already trademarked.
Yes, it was. It was taken. It was taken. It was taken by a director. He had a vision for me, and we found it. We found a way. But the thinner a needle, the less it hurts, and it gets through that subcutaneous layer. And when it's subcutaneous, it's less cutaneous. I think.
You know, Justin, there's one thing without kids that you're not going to have to deal with as much, and that we're all dealing with right now because our kids all went back to school within the last couple of weeks. How many kids are sick? How many have already gotten sick since their kids went back to school?
Quinn's 1 and 2 were down for 4 days with croup.
Yeah.
What?
Dude,
Yeah.
go ahead.
croup?
Let's defer to Miss Mulligan on this one because I feel like she.
You guys have really picked up on a good day for me. So my boys had COVID 2 weeks ago. Second week of school. So we're on week 4 of school. Second week of school, both of them get COVID. Just out the gate. Neil's teacher has it. There's 3 teachers out the same week. It's for whatever reason, it's having its moment, honey. So this morning, James wakes up. I'll send Jason the picture. James wakes up and his jaw is completely swollen right by the base of his ear. And he's beside himself. And I'm like, what is a swollen jaw at the base of the ear? And it's something called parotitis, which is like an infected salivary gland, most commonly connected with mumps.
No!
Oh no.
Now he's had all of his vaccines, so the doctor that saw him today. But basically, I'm now the working person in the family, so I have to go to school. I call our school's principal because I'm teaching, and I'm like, I don't know what to. I just but my son. She's like, well, can your husband? I'm like, yeah, he could take him. It was just so weird to hand over my baby to yeah, of course his father could take care of him. What's wrong with me? But I was sure it was going to be something. It's just a viral infection of a gland in his jaw. He's in miserable pain. I'm going to send you a picture, Jason, if you want to put it up.
No, I don't want to look at that.
Yeah.
My God.
It sounds really great, Kate.
Here's my question is when I was a kid, I never even heard the word gluten. Do you feel is it just maybe there's more people? But it just feels like, did we get this sick when we were younger? And I just don't remember it. Were people this sick, or did our parents not just go, yeah, it's a cold or whatever, just move on? I don't know. I can't tell because now
you can no longer take a Reese's peanut butter cup to a party in a school.
Yeah, I can't. Yeah. We can't, and it sucks too because my kids only eat 4 things, and PBJ is one of them. And I go, I can't send it. I can't send it to school.
I will say that so I remember when I'm sure you guys did this. But when we had kids, because we all had kids roughly the same time, Jeff was ahead of us, but you do food introductions to check for allergies. So it's this is the week that you're going to try this. And you're not supposed to do honey until a year, and you're not whatever. So one of the things that came out is that Israel has these little peanut puffs that now you can get at Trader Joe's called Bomba. And they were giving them to that was like a snack, almost the way we use puffs, little puffs to give to babies. Israel would always give them, it was these peanut butter snacks that were puffed corn with peanut butter. Right. And they were giving it to them starting at 6 months or whatever. And Israel has per capita the least peanut allergy in any country.
Yeah.
And it's because they say introduction, when you introduce foods matters.
I couldn't agree more.
Yeah. So it's just so interesting because I'm also wondering, because there are peanut allergies, my cousin has a kid with a severe peanut allergy. She's not making it up. She does have a severe peanut allergy, but now her kids have not been introduced to peanut. Her other kids have not been introduced to peanuts at all.
When I was a kid, people were like, I'm sorry, what? There was one kid. I mean, of course, this isn't like the 1880s. And so a lot of us were just on rural farms working. It wasn't that we weren't around. But I don't remember it being that prevalent. And I do think, I'm a big believer in the human body kind of knows what it's doing. It's pretty well designed. And so a lot of times, I'm not saying no medicine. not Tom Cruise in it. I think postpartum depression is a real thing. But I do think for a lot of things, like the human body knows what it's doing. And I do think to introduce things into it, that it helps. But I think nowadays we're like such snowplow parents. Get everything out of the way. God forbid. What if that kid has a peanut allergy? Really, the odds are. I don't know.
I think you're right. I had a lot of allergies as a child, not food allergies, the kind that were just in the air.
Yeah.
So we had to go to the doctor and get the scratch test, and my whole arm looked like looked like a sorry board. And I had to go get the shots. I had to go get shots for 6 years. And it was either that or I couldn't play sports because all the grasses I was allergic to. But so the irony is, though, when I got to an adulthood, they're like, if you go to California, since you grew up here in Seattle, your allergies will go away.
Yep.
And I said, why? And they said, well, typically you get allergic to the things you're up against in your home climate, but not the away climate. And I'm like, well, that's counterintuitive to what I thought about the whole peanut thing.
Yeah.
Because I was like, what if we give them peanuts early? And they're like, okay, yeah, well, maybe we just have something about peanuts, literally like legumes and nuts. Like maybe there's some, I don't even know anymore.
I think it's because California is more desert air. So it's the Doc Holliday, like he has tuberculosis, and they go, I don't know about you, but growing up in New Hampshire, like I couldn't breathe in the summer. It would have this crazy humidity, pollen, mowed grass. And then I came to California back before mosquitoes got here, by the way. I don't know if you remember back then, but California before mosquitoes was pretty great. And now all of a sudden there's humidity here, which is very strange to me because it used to be humid here.
It's still Camelot, but yeah, I get it. Yeah, it's there's no telling what to do with allergies.
Jeff, do your kids have allergies at all?
Not really. Just my daughter with the gluten, but not really anything. I gotta say though, when I didn't get psoriasis until I came to California.
You didn't have it in college?
First 25 years of my life, I did not have it.
Shut up.
Wow.
I was the opposite. I had it as a kid, then I didn't. But then in my 30s, I had horrible allergies like this. I couldn't breathe. And I started doing shots in my 40s. I started doing allergy shots. And then it kind of petered off. And then honestly, after COVID, my sense of smell is a little dinged up. And I don't have allergies much anymore. I don't really feel allergies.
Let me ask this question, you guys, as parents, because I'm interested.
Only if you ask it as Alan Rickman.
Here is the deal. As a young boy, I probably had many food allergies. My father was tested.
Justin, I actually want you to ask the question, but I also have to tell you, I met him once because my girlfriend was in a play with him, and I was in her dressing room before the play, and the door swings open and I'm behind the door, so he doesn't realize I'm in there. And he goes, Lily, I wanted to let you know I have a bit of a cold, so we're starting here. So when we kiss on this side, and then he saw me, he goes, oh, hello.
Oh my God. That's a lifetime's worth of celebrity moments in one. Oh, wow. A bit of a cold sore.
A bit of a cold sore.
Well, by the way, Mulligan, pretty good Alan Rickman.
Thank you.
Pretty good Alan Rickman.
Holy crap. I knew exactly. See, here's the thing. I know a good impression to me is just knowing who the person is. Yeah. You know?
Well, I did say Alan Rickman, so
it doesn't matter. Sure if you had said, I have a bit of a cold sore, right there, I had it. That's it.
Jeff, do you do any impressions? Are you an impression guy at all?
Who do I do? I do
because remember in the day, like we all I met Jeff doing sketch. We walked into a crazy theater. We did like 3 in a box. We had to do these things. We all both got in the company, and then Jeff and I kind of gravitated towards each other and ended up writing 100 sketches together. And I don't remember I'm not an impressionist at all. And people go, hey, have you auditioned for SNL? I was like, I can't do auditions. I can't do impressions. Jeff does
does
Ray.
Romano.
Jeff does do Ray Romano.
I do.
Let me hear it.
wait
Let me
a
hear it.
I
That's
was
a good
gonna
one.
say
honey,
you.
how do I? Hold on a second. Honey, I got 2 wives and a kid. I can't do it. I
Dude,
can't
you used
get.
to do
Hold on a
Nick.
second.
Actually, you did a sketch where you were Nick Cage.
I
What?
don't like forks in my mouth. Puppy. That's all I would say over and over. I'm terrible at impressions.
I'm terrible at impressions. I could do like 3
Uh,
Boston guys. I could do Jay Leno. I could do a couple. Like that's pure garbage. And sometimes I'll get like a voiceover thing where they go, "You're from Boston. Do a Mark Wahlberg audio." I go, "That's not how impressions work. They're not. It's not a regional. It's not, oh, you're from New Hampshire? Oh yeah, dude, knock out Adam Sandler. It's no, it's not how."
I can't even do. I really don't even do accents. I mean,
What's
I
so
can do
fun-
them for like very short, like you
Yes.
know when you have to do it and you have to do like I'm always impressed when I see somebody in a movie and it's like the guy shot it for 3 months and kept the accent. Because if I go over like a minute and a half, it starts to slip, and all of a sudden I'm like, oh, I'm a British. And people are like, did you just turn British? And you're like, I couldn't hold it. You can feel it slipping and it
Yeah.
just goes.
I bet it would be easier if you're surrounded by people doing it.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Probably
of course.
true. Yeah.
Mulligan,
Totally.
you're kind of an accent. You guys, do you do a lot of impressions and characters?
Who?
You.
Oh, me.
You.
It's
Yeah.
so funny. I gotta tell you, I do such great impressions of people in my life, but I cannot do a famous person to save myself. It was when I worked at a production company for 7.5 years, and they threw me this massive party when I left, which was like so unnecessary, so sweet. I was like bottom of the food chain there, but we just, everybody loved each other there. And I did a roast where I went person by person and did an impression of each, and like people were undone by it. They were just like, what? Because there was like one guy, Mike, who always, it was nobody spoke about it, but every time he'd walk in the hallway, he'd be like, and so I was like, and as Mike Lechner would say, and people are like, he does do that. He does do that.
If you were in the corporate world, everyone would be like, oh my God, if you're throwing a party, you got to invite Kate from accounting. She crushes parties. She'll impersonate you right to your face, Tom. She will. Oh, she
Oh my
crushes
God.
you. Did you do any
Kate,
famous
no.
people? Not one
No.
famous person.
Oh, she does Greg. She does Greg from HR. Haven't you seen her, Greg?
Oh,
He's
look at me.
famous.
I'm Greg. I'm in HR.
Well, I did think it would be a very funny stand-up show to be like, okay, I'm gonna do some impressions now. Here's my neighbor. Okay, guys, here's my neighbor Patty. Okay. Pretty good, right, guys? And just like do a bunch of impressions no one outside of my life would know.
Perfect.
Like, I do impressions, that's what I do.
Kate, can
Wasn't
I tell
Steve-
you? That was my first stand-up set. Was just like in college. There was an award show and somebody didn't show up, and so I just did impressions of the teachers, and I'm like, "Hey, that's the ticket, right?"
That is the ticket.
I don't think I got another laugh for a year, but it doesn't matter, because that one was crushing.
Jason, you do a couple, don't you? Who do you do?
He does.
I do Eric Cartman from South Park.
Holy shit.
That's good. It's really good.
Have you seen
That- all right,
Jason's puppet's been coming out lately. He's turning into a Jeff Dunham.
Justin's kind of inspired me to play with that stuff again. I had kind of like stopped
should.
doing it for a long
No,
time.
he should. First of all, yes, you should, because Jeff is rich. Okay, and so is Terry. So is Terry Fader. They're both richer than me.
Oh
Okay,
my gosh, Jeff Dunham's worth he might be worth $500 million.
He might be, and Terry Fader's worth a couple hundred mil.
Charlie McCarthy.
Two, everybody listening, is Trey Parker when he does Cartman, they key it up. They're not, the voice you just heard Jason do is not even doable by Trey Parker.
No, it's my real voice. I just sort of do it sometimes.
That's God. That's on
You
God.
sweet it
You
up.
are so good. That's not even fair. That's not even. I don't.
Jason, will you tell Jeff the puppet story with your ex-wife? Because it reminds me of so many stories in Jeff's life. Like the time
Your
Jeff
puppets?
thought his car was stolen He goes, my car got stolen, and it turned out he had just forgotten he had parked it
Where
a
he
block
parked it.
away,
I
and they
remember this
found it like a month later.
Let me go grab him real quick because the
You
story's
grab
better
him.
if he's here.
Jeff, how did that happen? You lost your. You said you thought your car was
I
stolen.
parked it someplace. I went what I thought was that place. It was not there. So a month later, they called and said your car's impounded. So I went there and they said, man, whoever stole your car made it a huge mess and loves Taco Bell. So it was just nobody broke in. It was my fucking car.
It was your car. he had misplaced where he parked it.
I
and then
misplaced
reported
it.
it
I
stolen.
reported it stolen. So they.
And here's
they-
what's crazier: then the car was infested with cats or mice or
cockroaches.
oh, it was infested with cockroaches. When he got it, it was infested.
Yeah.
Oh.
Hello, everybody. How you doing?
So, I was shooting a paranormal documentary,
Like you
and-
do.
like I do sometimes, and we had taken the puppets to. I had taken this particular puppet. This is Turk, to film at an abandoned children's ward at a hospital that was shut down. So we thought maybe toys would bring activity out. That was kind of the premise of the show. I was married to my first wife at the time, bitch. Okay, enough.
I'm sorry.
And we got home 4 days early, and she was supposed to be house sitting for her grandmother. And so I went to her grandmother's house, and I got there and the lights were off, and there was no car in the driveway. And so I called her and I said, "Hey, what are you doing?" And she said, "Oh, I'm here at my grandma's. We're having tea and just hanging out." And I was like, in the dark with no car in the driveway? And at that point, I turned around because I heard a car, and I see her car coming down the street and whip into the driveway down the street because she has now seen and realized what is happening. And in the passenger seat is a dude in a baseball cap.
Oh.
So I hop in the car and tear after her because I want to catch her. And she called the police and told them that she did not know me, even though we were married, and that I was stalking her. And so the cops, she for some reason also they managed to flag me down. They had me go to the station, and for some reason, I, in a panic, picked the puppet up and took it into the police station. And so he's talking to us, and as he's explaining to us, the puppet and I are just nodding along in agreement with everything he's saying. And he hands me a paper that had some kind of a statement that she had given, and so I start reading, and then he finished before me, so I just kept reading, and he's just waiting for me to finish.
By the way, if you're listening to this on iTunes or Spotify right now, you're missing some serious puppetry going on.
And then I reminded him that he has a marriage license because he's a fucking idiot.
And then I did show him the marriage license, and so the cop goes, I don't know how to process this, but you clearly know her. So he let Turk and I go, and Turk got me out of the whole thing.
You're welcome.
I feel like puppets could really help everywhere.
I don't know what's
in
just
politics, everything.
Wow. Wow. Well, first of all, Turk, good to see you.
Really
Thank you for doing that.
Big fan.
Yeah. First long time listener, first time calling. That's incredible.
Mulligan, what's up?
Turk, it's so good to see you again. Also, I just got to say, that was so funny, on God. I mean, truly.
It was huge.
I just feel like if you had a puppet, you could get out of a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
I think that's Jeff Dunham's hook, too, is like he says terrible things, but it's never him. The puppet says the bad thing. It's the same.
Right.
Yeah, it's like you can say whatever you want as the puppet. And then the guy's like, "Oh, can you believe my puppet just said that?" And you're like, "No, well, you said it. I'm pretty
Well,
sure.
you know, they think you're. Yeah.
I have gotten in arguments with people at bars with him where he has said things to them, and I have had them yell at him, but not me.
Bro, I
That's
would
crazy.
do that. I would definitely yell at Turk.
Oh,
If he
that's
said it, I'd be
Yeah,
like,
good
"Hey,
drinks,
you
yeah.
listen to me, you little piece of." I would
No,
give him
you would do it
credence.
as Liam Neeson, I feel like.
Oh, the way he
Listen
sets
here.
you up.
Listen, I don't want to hear any of your na bullshit. You understand? I will take you off that hand that is sitting so far up yours. Look at my office. You work your little on. Yours will say, you're my fault.
You probably now want to pimp me out, Jamie, to do tall from budgeting. I got it. Don't worry.
Yes.
Yeah. Can you?
Who is
Can you
this?
do
I
special set
do
of
not
skills?
know. I don't understand the puppets.
Hey, buddy.
I don't understand the puppets. This is not the thing we do where I come from. You guys, it was dead on. You don't know, but it was dead
A
on.
spot.
Spot
I
on.
feel like I know her.
Yeah, you know her very
I
well.
was in the room.
Jeff, you were gonna say something? What were you?
Honey, I got my parents live next door, honey, and I got 2 kids here, and I got married, and my parents live next door. I got my brother. He touches his spoon to his chin, honey. Have sex with me. I don't know.
Everybody loves Raymond. Everybody loves Raymond. Isn't that great?
That's true.
Can you say I have
he's
a
got the
special
Brad
set of
Garrett.
skills?
Special set of skills. I forgot. Special
I don't have.
Dude, Jeff, that was a killer Ray Romano. Yeah.
Right. It's just Jeff Lewis. It's so close to me.
That's so funny. That's so funny.
Honey.
Well, I didn't want to get into it because but obviously, Jeff, a lot of your Twitch fans are here, and so on Twitch, you are a gamer. You do this thing where people watch you play games, and I think Mulligan's involved in some of the shenanigans.
Well,
as well.
I really want to start a Twitch channel, but I'm not playing enough, and I'm such a noob that people would be like, "We're not watching this lady play."
No, but that's my gimmick. Is I'm terrible because you can find a guy on Twitch who's incredible player at Fortnite or whatever, but that's exactly the opposite for me. I'm so bad.
I remember you got me onto Stardew Valley.
Oh my God, Stardew Valley is amazing.
Can we also address? Can we also address Jamie's perfect Carson right there? Jeff, I hear you're
I understand you.
You're into the games.
That's Leno too. He's like, so I understand you went fishing this past weekend. Did you go fishing, Jeff? And you're like, well, of course I did, because I talked to you in the pre-interview and you said you got any funny stories, and I said, yeah, I got one about fishing. Yeah, tell that story about fishing.
Yeah, very good.
Hey, not to back up for 2 seconds, but Carl Nelson has a fantastic question. Since this is a parenting, and listen, we are a parenting podcast, but a lot of times parents don't always want to talk about kids. And I think sometimes it's more of a parental mental health, and sometimes to forget your children, it's great. But does the puppet help with your kids?
He doesn't like them, but he will help me if I ask nicely.
And they're not his kids. Why would he like them? You like somebody else's kids?
Hold on. Did you just answer as Turk's representative there? Yeah. Like, Turk doesn't like them? Not for your kids' sake, mind you. I was like, I thought you had. Oh, he's answering as Turk. Gotcha.
Yeah. Well, how else would I address him?
Anytime I ever hear.
I was like, it's like it's a parenting tool, and you were like, well, Turk really doesn't like,
Yeah, Turk's totally
doesn't care for them.
I still, when I hear puppets and kids, I never think of like, oh, happy puppet, because puppets are they're like clowns to me a little bit. Like they're kind of creeping me out a little bit. And anytime I hear puppets and kids, all I ever think of is like the court case where the psychiatrist has to meet with the child and be like, okay, so on the puppet, where exactly did the teacher touch you?
Yeah.
That's how anytime I think of like puppets and kids, I go like, oh, somebody did something bad and the kid can't explain it without a puppet.
Let me ask a question. Okay, please go ahead.
No, I was going to say, I have a special guest coming because once a year, if not more, my husband pitches to me a bit he wants to do. And once a year, I tell him I've already heard it and no, thank you. And so I said, Dickie, we are talking about puppets. Would you like to come pitch your ventriloquist bit? I don't.
Oh my
Dickie will
God.
come.
So
And
he's
for
coming.
those of you who don't know, Kate's husband is Dickie Murphy. He is a writer, WGA, and a
Well,
showrunner.
he's on strike, so
He's on strike right now, but he has a show on. I'll say it. He has a show on Nickelodeon
it
called
is a
Aaron
strike
and
show,
Aaron.
but yeah.
And it's a wonderful show. So he is. That's why when she says I'm the breadwinner right now, it's because someone is striking and
Someone's on
picketing.
strike, yeah.
Is he really going to come pitch it?
He really is going to come. He's going to come do it, but he's
So
not
this
here
is a
yet,
show for it's a puppet show, like
he
an Alf
says
kind
he
of thing.
really wants to do.
What's the greatest
He'll come
puppet
again.
shows of all time, Jeff? Puppet shows?
The George W. Bush administration.
Oh,
I knew that answer.
What is
Kukla, Fran, and Ollie?
what is
The
good
Land of
puppet show?
Confusion, the Genesis one.
Oh
I always
my
liked this
God.
puppetry.
So I'm gonna
about
I want you guys to try out an act that Turk and I have been working on. Okay, so I'm gonna just 'cause he's actually psychic. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So Justin, I want you to go ahead and hold up an object because Turk, he can't see it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Let me just see. Yeah. It's long. It's thin. It's not a dick. It's not a dick. It's a candlestick.
No,
It is a
No, it's a
candlestick.
That is a
That's
dick,
actually
please.
a dick.
Really
It's a
good.
dick.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome writer, producer, director extraordinaire, showrunner, Mr. Dickie Murphy is here this evening. Dick, I hear you have a pitch, a puppet pitch.
Well, it's not a pitch so much as it's I've been doing working on a set with my friend here. This is Leo.
Hold on. If you're listening to this and you're not watching this show, Dickie, would you describe your friend / puppet to everyone?
His name is Leo. He's hold on, he's really into making sure his hair looks good when he's on screen.
Mhm.
But he's a puppet, and he and I have been doing a show. We do it Fridays at Cantor's. We do it at Cantor's on Friday.
Your wife is part of the act at this point.
Friday night at Cantor's, the Kibitz Room, 11:30s, second Friday of every month. So it's pretty good. He's going to be doing a lot of talking, so just get ready for this. So I just have this camera. So all right. So Leo, how's it going today? Do you want to say something? Wait, no, now say something now. Hold on. This is going to be good. Do you want to talk now? Do you want to say something? Are you not going to talk now? No. This is the time. I'm sorry. Hold on. I'm sorry. Are you still mad about earlier? And you're not going to talk now? I'm sorry, guys. Usually there's like a thing where he can talk. It looks like people think I'm a ventriloquist. I'm not. It's really him talking. And usually right now he would be like going on and on. But right now he's just refusing to talk. So yeah, he's pissed. He's really upset about earlier. So he's not going to talk right now. But trust me, usually this would go. And I want me to talk for you. He says he's really happy to be here, and if he wasn't in such a bad, I'm not going to say that. Okay, now he wants to sign off now. So I'm sorry, guys. This usually works.
Go back to Dan Wally's because that's
No, we got to go.
This was my exact one. I thought the same thing.
Next
Hello,
time,
my
if you have me
baby.
on
Hello,
Zoom,
my
I
honey.
will
Hello, my ragtime gal.
Open young Frankenstein.
I don't even know what to say right now.
Sorry, Dickie. Sometimes it happens. That's the frog, right? And the bugs. Is it Bugs Bunny?
He's like
Michigan K frog.
That doesn't know how to be a ventriloquist, so he just has the puppet whisper everything to him.
It needs a payoff, though. We got to eventually.
Yeah, it needs a payoff. Yep.
The puppet has to talk. Yeah, we'll work on. We'll bring in the third act.
I was very sure there was going to be either something offensive or like and or racist.
No,
I thought the puppet was going to pull out a gun and just start shooting, but I don't know.
This is
Jeff Lewis is he has some puppet. What is Tom Hanks' favorite Star Wars spoof movie?
Speedballs.
What?
Boy, narcolepsy. When the audience is setting you up, that's when you know you're a regular on the show,
Yeah.
Justin. When the audience is
Such a
actually
good feeling.
cueing setup.
It's such a good feeling.
In the comments.
Your fans, you guys here at Parents Lounge, are like
undefeated.
They're like the dad sitting on the upside down bucket with a handful of balls, and they're just tossing them up against a fence.
Narcolepsy, especially.
And
kills it.
just boom, just hitting line drives. Everybody just boom every time. You guys know what I'm talking about.
And Jeff,
I
I
do.
saw you were working on some puppetry over there, it looked like.
This is me.
That is you. Holy cow. I was like, wait a minute.
It's you as Eric
Jeff
Cartman.
is holding up, it looks like a crocheted puppet.
This is I was in a web series called The Guild, and so I get a lot of gifts, but it's always the crown, it's always the bald. They never let you forget that you have no hair. So this is really.
Well, let me ask you. Say they made a doll and they were like, we can't make a bald doll, but it's supposed to look like Jeff. I know, but that's just hurtful. And so they put a big head of hair on it and they gave you a puppet with a full head of hair and they'd go, Jeff, this is you. You'd be like, what's with the hair?
Well, would it hurt Jamie once in a while to make me feel good, even though it's a suspension of disbelief?
I think it would be worse to receive a full-headed puppet of yourself. I think you'd be like, oh, they wish I had hair too. Like it would just.
I guess I do want accuracy. This is look at this. I mean, that is bald.
Oh, yeah, that is bald. Very bald.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay.
Jeff, wait, give us the side by side. So you put your head down and then you put his head down. At
Oh
the
yeah,
same
yeah.
time. Okay.
You ready?
Yeah.
Oh.
It feels accurate.
Is that
Oh.
pretty accurate?
Kate, geez, thank
got an
you.
expert
Now I
too.
feel less bad and more impressed with the demonstration.
Well, to be
Yeah.
honest with you,
Good.
Jeff, bald nowadays is very sexy because Dwayne Johnson knows it, right?
Yeah,
Dwayne
that's
Johnson
true.
will tell you how
Let
sexy
me tell
he
you
is.
something. My hair doesn't need to be there for you to see that I am Rock. You know what I mean? I'm the Rock. And I'm hard. It doesn't matter if you can see the hair. You know the Rock has it.
He's right.
Every
Everyone
once in a
goes.
while, I don't realize that Jamie's setting you up, and I'm like, Jamie has the worst transitions tonight. Why is he
Yeah,
talking
yeah.
about
Like,
Dwayne
what
The
is
Rock
wrong with
Johnson?
Jamie?
Oh, he's
Oh,
setting up Rumble.
Jason Statham is also very sexy.
Here's the deal. Old men, they've got giant penises because they've got more testosterone. Testosterone. It does.
He sounds more like Patrick Warburton.
I get on the Rock.
Rock does.
Let me hear
So, hold
Patrick
on.
Warburton.
What's
So
Patrick?
this says Patrick Warburton for comparison.
Before
Very
next week's
similar
show, by the
sound.
way, we're getting you a headphone set and a Yeti microphone.
Oh, you know what's really funny? I thought for the first half that I was on that, and it turns out halfway in, if you guys had just said it was my stupid earbuds
It
that were
wasn't
doing
until you
it.
started touching them. When you touch them, it messes them up and you go
I
out.
thought that was your act to kind of go in and out.
I thought that was your act to go in and out. Which, by the way, I don't know if you know this, but as an impressionist, people need to hear you.
No,
Yeah.
no, I didn't think that was any.
No, it's a lot of people don't know that. So we're all back in school except for Ruppel, who's traveling the world, having fun and having two wives. But Jeff, do you have any
You're
questions
doing
for somebody
like,
who has two wives? Jeff?
Yeah, go ahead, Jeff.
Jeff, any questions about? Did Jeff freeze? Looks like Jeff froze.
No, I got you.
Oh, you son of
Oh,
a gun!
that was good.
I
That was good,
Oh,
Joe.
really
got
great
you.
joke. So good, so
Now,
strong.
what was your question?
The question was, what do you think about the fact that Justin has no kids and two wives?
I think that's the best situation I've ever heard of.
It's pretty great.
I
Right?
mean,
He'll tell you how
can I-
great it is,
can
by
I-
the way.
I mean, that's pretty good. Now, do they live with you?
Yeah, the no kids. No,
Two
yeah.
wives live
The
Yeah,
with
two-
you.
you
the
mean
two
his
wives, yes.
wives? Do his wives? Do your wives live with you? That's crazy
do.
talk. Since
They-
when
they
is that
do.
happening?
As it turns
That
out,
would
they
be
do
ideal.
live with me. Yes, they do.
God, that's incredible. Two wives.
Two wives.
Justin, do you
Well-
send your dog to like doggy day camp to like simulate the school experience, or
No, but we're permanently with a baby because the dog is a Chihuahua that we got in quarantine, so it cannot be without us. So we literally hire a babysitter when we want to go do something, because the dog has never stayed home alone one time, and it almost clawed through a metal door.
Why'd you put it in a
So-
cage? That's what I do with my kids.
Jamie, I
That's
also
way
What
to
do you
go.
think those little and it's funny because it's like Petco. I go the guy at the counter. I was like Petco. It should be called Kidco. I need 2 cages, and that's how that happened.
Well, Jamie, If you want the answer to that question, I'll refer you back to the 2 wives.
Yeah.
So why do we not have
Well,
that?
the beauty of having 2 wives, I'm confused because you don't need to take them both out, dude. You take one, you leave one home with the dog. I mean, it seems like an easy fix. I'm confused.
That's why you don't have 2, Jamie.
Yeah, Jamie, you're forgetting that the wives also are in love with each other.
That's true.
We have
This
a
is not
friend.
This is not a big love situation. Yeah, go ahead.
We have a mutual friend who travels a lot. Like he has a full family here, and he's gone like half the year. And we always surmise he has a second family somewhere. We're like, that dude's got to have a second family somewhere. And you know when it's like you read those stories where some guy, it turns out he had 2 full families, like not just 2 wives, but he had like they were like 2 counties over. He would tell one he was traveling, and I was always like, what insane, crazy person, masochist who would do that? Jeff, can you imagine having a second family?
I cannot. Yes, I think 0 is the way to go of everything.
0
but 0 fans, 0 everything. But that is crazy. That's a lot of like. It sounds great if they were like, if you had no kids and no responsibilities. But the wives, to me, that's just everything in stereo.
It is.
I mean, that's a lot of pressure.
Jeff, it is a lot. I'm glad that at this moment that they can't hear what you're saying.
Oh,
well, let me ask you this, Justin.
Headphones are very valuable.
In some ways, you are
great.
similar because you have 2 humans who are kind of vying for your attention. The same way I have the 2 children who are vying for my attention. Do the women ever? Is there any? What's the word, Mulligan? Where one's try to outdo each other to get your attention.
I just think I want to speak for Justin. I want to speak for my client Justin here and say I think you're misunderstanding the dynamic in this, which is that they're all in love with each other. So if anybody gets jealous, it might actually be Justin, is what I would guess.
Bingo.
I thought that too. But
right.
at the end of the day, he's still. He's
now,
the sole purveyor of certain equipment.
I will say this. Where I do notice something is that if I get one of something, I'm going to get 2 of something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean by that?
Herpes, is that what you're talking about?
Yes.
Yeah.
Genital and oral.
I meant shingles. Sorry, my
typically only happens to me with kids. You expect you're getting 1 and then you end up with 2.
Right, exactly.
Here's the
but I
deal
mean,
with-
like if I go inside to a gas station and somebody wants something like you want a soda or something, I'm getting 2. No matter what.
Yeah, you better.
Because if we go back to the car and one person gets something and doesn't, we make sure. And that I think, from what I remember, is hanging out with my parents' friends. Yeah, that's the same, right? If you got 2 kids, there's always.
I love when people get 2 different colors. You're like, dude, don't do that. Just get them both. I don't care what color you pick. Get them exactly. And you're like, did I just buy 2 of the exact same? Yeah, it's exactly how you buy it.
You have with twins in particular, you have to, because even though the twins were literally started as the same cell, they were the same human being that split in 2. They have almost killed each other over a Hot Wheels car that was just a slightly different shade of blue.
Yep.
Oh,
yeah, dude. It's Justin. You have no. It's crazy. And here's the thing, too. People say 3 is a magic number. Like 3 is like you say. Oh, they all love each other. If I have one friend over for my daughter and it's a play date with 2 of them, glorious, magnificent. I add a third friend, and all of a sudden there's 3 of them in there. Fight. It's going. Because it's like Survivor, where they are forming groups amongst themselves. It's like Lord of the Flies, and all of a sudden Piggy gets killed. That's how the book
alliances. Yeah,
alliances. It's all about alliances. I keep telling my daughter. She goes, "Oh, that's my best friend." I go, "Don't." I go, "The best thing you can do is have no best friends. They're all your friends. Everybody's your friend. Once you have a best friend, you're going to make other people have other best friends, and all of a sudden it goes awry, man. It goes awry. It's crazy.
It's a good
drama.
That's a good parenting. Yeah, I'll get him a conch shell.
We use the conch shell. That's such a good pull.
I was going to say which is great. You brought up Lord of the Flies because Justin does make both of his wives hold the conch shell if they want to speak. If you're not, hey, Nancy, Lisa's got the conch.
Here, Jason, you read this. This is about twins. You read this, Matt Milder.
Sure. Some twins are nearly symbiotic. They finish each other's sentences. They agree on everything. They think identically, but other twins refuse to dress alike. They get different hairstyles and they strive for individuality. We actually see a bit of both there. So when they are acting as a unit to beat the shit out of their older brother, you could not choreograph a better tandem. They know where the other one is going to be and they destroy him.
Wow.
But they will not ever choose the same clothes. They choose different car seats each time that they get into the car. It is always, always, always different on a personality level. But when they need to work together, you could not have a more fluid team of raptors.
But when two kids dress alike, I will never not think that's weird.
Me too.
Okay.
I know families that dress their kids alike, even though it's a boy and a girl, and there's 3 years apart, and they're in matching.
Here's a
outfits
pitch
all
for
the
you.
time.
See if I can change your mind. I'm going to the zoo. I've got my 2 kids. They don't have the same exact shirt, but I'm putting them both in red because I want to be looking for one color to keep my eyes on both of them. So a lot of times I will dress my kids similar just so I can.
Do you write your phone number on their arm? Did you ever do that when they were kids?
Actually, it's funny, both of them, because they've heard me like, oh yeah, thank you for calling. They've heard me give it out so many times on the phone for making an appointment or whatever. They both know my phone number. Isn't that wild?
That's why I only take Holocaust survivors to the zoo.
Jeff,
bringing it home at 8:06, 1 hour and 6 minutes in it. We finally got the joke we needed.
I love you so much. I literally was like, how am I doing this joke? Because that's what I was thinking.
Jeff can get away with it, Justin. You and I cannot get away with that joke.
No, there was only one person who can make the joke.
One person who can make that
and
joke.
his name is Jeff Lewis.
Jeff Lewis.
Jeff, then I feel much better telling you this now. You do have someone you sound identical to. And I didn't want to say it unless you might find it offensive, but you and Larry David have the identical voice.
He's basically, if Larry David played a flashback, it would be Jeff.
Yeah, I do. I take that as the compliment.
Talk Larry David talking to Jeff.
It's just
Justin. Can you do Larry David?
Yeah, there you are. Yeah, here. Hold on. Here's Jeff. Here's Jeff Goldblum. I'll just rile up Larry David. Okay. Larry. I noticed that you were 45 minutes late for our golf appointment today.
What? I was. Oh God.
I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it, Larry. I don't want to hear it. What is your excuse this time? What is your excuse?
I was at a bris. And I saw Jerry, and we did some jokes together, and then I went to a bar mitzvah, and I went to Auschwitz.
This improvisational workshop has been brought to you.
Oh my God.
You always got to go there, brother, don't you? It's like if everything I said ended up going to when the English kept the Irish as slaves. That's how I go.
Well, you guys also, but just so you guys know, Jennifer from Legal was watching.
Oh no. Jennifer is crazy.
That's it.
She's so crazy.
That's it. It was very accurate, guys. That's what she used to do.
She's a good dancer.
I feel like we go out on Auschwitz. No, did we not go out on Auschwitz?
I know where we're going from there, actually. So yeah, I feel like that's probably good.
We're totally gonna get canceled.
This show's canceled. I'm so sorry.
Jeff, now that your kids are a little bit older, is there something like when your kids are older and they go, "What was your dad like?" What will they say that you always say to them? Yes, go.
Yes, I just want to say we played Taboo last week, and the word that they had to guess, my daughter was trying to get my son to guess, and the word was angry. And you can't use certain words. So my daughter just said, "This is Dad all the time." And she said angry. She guessed it. And she said, "This is Mom." And then later on, it was, "This is Mom" all the time. And the word was tired. That's what it boils down to.
Dude,
angry.
That's a sketch. That's such a sketch. Where you're like, "This is Dad all the time. Super angry. Put his fist through a wall. Punched a car.
But it heightens. It heightens. So then they're like, okay, this is grandma all the time. Strung out on coke after 3 beers at grandma's. And it's like a long string of like very specific things.
We haven't played Taboo. What
It's
is there a phrase that you like? I always say to my kids, I'm always like, I say, be in the moment and focus on the task at hand. I say it all the time to my kids, which they still never do. Because my daughter will start something and then just drift off, and I'm like, just finish it, finish what you're doing.
And get in the habit is what I hate saying it, but I say it all the time.
You say it to your kids. Get in the habit of
like
what?
Brushing your teeth, or of doing your homework at this time or something. I hated hearing that when I was a kid.
Did your dad say that? What did you think your dad said all the time? Get in the habit. Get in the habit, Jeff.
Get in the habit of do that every day. Get in the habit of
habit. A lot of times has a heroin connotation to it. So when they're saying get in the habit, are they saying get the monkey on your back? Is that what's happening?
Shoot up, yeah.
Get
in the habit, Jeff. Get in the habit. It's annoying.
Kaylor, I'll have you know I stopped myself from making a joke about your girls' school and nuns wearing habits. I stopped myself.
Oh, that's a good one. Nobody dresses in habits there.
I'm just saying, well, yeah, because nuns all left. I'm like, well,
the
jig is
habit.
Get inside that.
Get in the habit of getting strung out. Jeff, like he's in middle school now.
Yes, he's in middle. He's
fifth. Are you helping with homework? Because actually, it's funny because my daughter was like, "Can you help me with my homework?" I'm going to try to go help her with her homework, but I think she's probably tried to do it since I was off. Are you a homework helper, or do you actually try to teach and go do it yourself?
I try to help them, but the math, I cannot help them with math. It's so complicated.
And you have a college degree, we should add.
Liberal arts or. but good enough, yeah.
There are math requirements to get a liberal arts degree. Yeah.
So you got a PhD in donut delivery.
I will, man.
So when your son
stands for donut.
When your son's in middle school and he comes to you, he goes, "Hey, Dad, can you help me with your homework?" You just hold your hands up and go, "I can't. I'm sorry, I can't. I just can't do it. I can't do that."
That's exactly what I say. And then he goes angry. No, I don't.
I love that you're playing board games. I actually I want to break out Scrabble and just play. We have like the big spinning Scrabble game with my kids. I'm not going to play it like straight up Scrabble, but I think you could see the letters and put words together and try to get some points. But I'm not going to.
There's Scrabble Junior.
Is there Scrabble Junior?
The Scrabble is, yeah, for kids.
Dude, we still the iPads are hidden. I have them hidden. I break them out on rare occasions. And it's funny. My daughter had a meltdown over the weekend, and last night she was like, "Hey, can I use the iPad?" I said, "After your behavior yesterday." And she goes, "Yeah, that makes a lot of sense." That's all she said. She walked away. Like she accepted her fate. She was like, "Yeah, no, I don't deserve that." Okay.
Wow. That's good.
Me and my wife, my 7-year-old went, "I can't have the tablet. This is horse shit."
What?
Yeah.
What?
Jace told me it was horse shit. And I was like, first of all, while it is horse shit, you are not getting it. And you can't say that.
And then you said, not without a puppet.
Yeah.
Get a puppet.
There's bad blood there. Those two don't get along.
Are you stingy? Mulligan, are you stingy with the iPad?
No.
Use it all the time?
Well,
Jeffrey?
No. Yeah.
I will say that we had two other couples over with their 2 other kids, so 6 kids. And when I was growing up, like 6 kids would be running around playing.
Yes.
They were on 6 different pads.
Oh, sorry. I wouldn't let that happen. I think probably I would be stingy in that regard. I also they can't go more than 2 hours in a day, ever. We don't ever go past 2 hours.
Isn't it crazy how they go into like a cocoon state where they just all of a sudden they're on the couch, and even if you pull it out, they're like, it's like they're drunk.
Yeah.
Oh, and they don't get hungry. They'll watch the pad, and then 3 hours later they'll be watching the pad, and then they'll suddenly get off and go, "I'm really hungry."
Yeah.
Like there's no instincts. There's no instincts at all.
It's like bears after they wake up from hibernation. They've been like down in there, and then they come out and they're like eating everything.
That being said, Jeff, the only way I can understand this is I could absolutely skip a meal for Breath of the Wild. If I'm playing a video game and it's like it's a open world, I could lose 6 hours, no question. So I have
There's
to
a
be a
game I
little
used to play. Have you played World of Warcraft?
No.
World of Warcraft is a game that you play and you're sitting there, and then suddenly dawn comes out. It's been 12 hours, and there's light, and you didn't realize at all you've been playing it the entire night.
Oh
I mean,
God.
it's one of those time suckers.
I do
You
remember.
didn't
I
even
do have
realize.
another impression for the gamers here. You guys ready?
Mhm.
It's the blood moon rising in Zelda. Be careful, Link. The blood moon rises once
I'm the
again.
only one that's laughing at that.
Yeah.
It's very good.
And also, any
Very
of
good.
the vendors there, hoo-ha, hoo-ha-ha. It's I honestly, the first time I heard my husband playing the game, I'm like, what porn are you watching?
Oh my
And
God.
it's when you go into any of these shops, they're all like, oh, it's the weirdest thing. I'm like, Japan, you are unfailed.
Is Margaret Cho in the game?
She's one of the main.
As a master.
I did one of them. I did some voice on some, and I was a guy from Maine who was like, "The monsters are coming." I have to look at. Honestly, I can't even remember the name, but it was a pretty big. It was Fallout.
Nice.
Fallout 3 or 4
sounds really
or
funny.
something. And the mist was coming up the coast of Maine, and I was up in Penobscot Harbor.
Monsters are
I go,
coming.
"Beware." I had a deeper voice. I was like, "Beware, the monsters are coming." And it was
That's
really
really
Good,
funny.
Kayler. I like it.
It was actually a
Oh
pretty
my
good Maine
God.
accent. I was up there near Pepperidge Farm, remembers? Yeah.
Dude, I don't even
Oh
I
my
that
God.
that yeah, I as somebody who does voices a lot, I always say there's 3 I don't do. I don't do South Africa because it's just
I love South Africa.
Nuanced. It's
I like
nuanced.
South Africa.
there's so many little ins and outs of it that like the Africa,
It's Lethal Weapon 2. All you got to do is watch Lethal Weapon 2, and he
Oh
goes,
yes,
diplomatic community. It's so
that is so
gold.
true.
I love that. The Krugerrands. I still to this day I use Krugerrands in
Bro.
like so many jokes. I'm like, am I paying Krugerrands? Is that cool? Is that cool?
Yeah.
So South Africa. What
South
else?
Africa. I don't do Maine,
I love Maine. Yeah.
and I don't do a French accent because those are
Well,
those.
Yeah.
French is hard for me because I know the language a little bit, and if you speak the actual language to do the accent in English, it falls apart on me really very quickly.
I almost feel like your voice is too low for a French accent, Justin. I feel like it's all a little bit up here, so like it's and
Sure.
I don't know.
It would be.
Yeah. What about Boston? So I
Okay.
got
Boston.
fucking
That's like-
Dude, Boston's the easiest thing to slip into. It's the
easy.
easiest thing to slip into.
Act
Because
lazy and drunk, and it just
dude,
comes out.
the second you hear someone talking like you, the second
sure.
that happens, it's you're right back to it.
Dude, and then you go
So
down to
fucking
donkeys. You
wicked.
get a little going.
Dude, don't even get me started on
Come
donkeys.
come on, guy, come on.
Oh my
love
God.
My
I
wife
think
just walked in
Boston-
and made this face.
I think Boston, and this is gonna hurt. I think Boston is one of the ugliest accents
Absolutely.
on the
Yeah, you're
planet.
right.
And when you see a hot woman in a bar, and all of a sudden she goes, "Hey, what's happening?" You're like, "Oh, dude,
Ugh.
it's so
Vomit.
hard."
It's a
Because
total
honestly,
turn
I grew up. My family kind of has that accent.
Dude, the East Coast for me has so many accents that I'm like, let's not.
Well,
You
Southern's such a beauty, like a Southern belle. I mean, Southern's awesome, right?
Here's
Which means you go down to Bayou or something and then get on ugly then.
this is what's really interesting. People always ask me what they
Take
think.
us around the country.
What do you think is the most attractive accent? I go television diction.
Yeah.
For some reason,
Newscaster?
yeah, because otherwise,
Non-regional nooncaster.
yeah, because my voice, my little bad tick that I have of wanting to copy people. If I run across somebody I'm attracted to and they have a little accent, I'm going to be mimicking them constantly.
Yeah.
And it gets to be annoying. So everybody I've ever dated or ever been with I could never be with anybody from Boston or Louisiana or Minnesota. Holy crap. If I was with someone from Minnesota and she said, "Oh, so let's go out tonight. What you think? And I'd be like, I don't know. What do you think? And like,
I know.
it's just,
I
it would,
used to do that right to people's faces, and they'd be like, "What are you? Is that kind of a dick maneuver?"
Of course it is, but it's a tick. It's a problem.
Yeah, I
It's a tick.
very much get it.
At least you're an impressionist. You can kind of justify it as your job. I'm just an asshole.
That's why no one would ever do. You just,
It is funny though. You watch the national news, and it doesn't matter who or what ethnicity. Like it's like any ethnicity, and then they're like this evening on the news. It's like just so non-regional dialect.
I went to broadcasting school at the Edward R. Murrow School of Communication, and there was an upper level class that was called Television Diction 416, and it was like just how to cut accents all the way out, like completely out from any part of the world.
It's hard.
And to do that, and what's so interesting about that is that it's universally accepted as television news diction.
Yeah.
What they figured out was, all right, look, even though the English language came from England, they're really just compiling German, French, Italian, Latin, and throwing in all the places they conquered. They threw it into a pot, right? And then television diction is, all right, look, we get it. This is a stupid language filled with stupid rules. Like I before E, except after C, and all these little blahs and blahs and all this. It's Spanish, it's French, it's German, it's Latin. So we're just going to say it as clearly as possible. Here are all the enunciation. I'm like, good, cut it out. That's his. Yeah. They admit it.
People were brutally murdered tonight. Back to you, Mark.
Thank you, Dan.
Yeah.
Thank you, Dan. Yeah, I can. If I'm tired, my voice starts to come out like that. If I'm tired or drunk, my boss starts to come out. Sometimes people will hear it. Sometimes they think I'm from Chicago, but typically, if I do a voice of, go buy your kids Television Diction Junior. I'm definitely getting Scrabble Junior. That's Jeff good. Lewis, we have got to wrap this show because I have got to go do some homework.
Jamie, you promised in 2 more hours.
I know.
You said to me, Jeff, we're going.
That was the shadiest thing that's ever happened.
What do we close on? What do we close on?
Oh, I don't know. Why don't you say that why don't we let Jeff do some more Holocaust material?
I was just gonna say.
We'll cut that all out. Don't worry about it. I was going to tag the joke when he goes, what did you say with the phone numbers written on them? And unfortunately, then somebody's like calling and I go, I keep getting, it's not a real number. It's not a real number. It's not a real number. It's not. What if somebody did pick up and they're like, hello?
Hello. This is the number of a person.
Dude, this whole thing has to get cut. We'll have to cut this. We're going to get canceled.
You know what would happen if that phone did get picked up? He would say,
I don't know who you are. I don't know what you want. If it's Auschwitz you're after, I don't know if you'll find it here. I am Schindler. I am Oscar Schindler.
Oh my God.
All right, Jeff Lewis.
Really
I love you, brother. Thank you for coming on to the show. For those of you who are catching this on iTunes, please subscribe, follow, like, share with another parent. Obviously, we try to have as much fun as possible because parenting is super painful. Jeff, can you attest to that? Yeah. Obviously you can because you get angry and your wife is always tired.
I'm the clue that you can use when you talk about anger.
That taboo joke is gold. Gold, I tell you, sir.
Gold.
Tired and angry.
For Justin Ruppel, Kate Mulligan, Jason Gowan, myself, Jamie Kaler, thank you for being part of this. Be sure to catch us every week live at 7 p.m. on Tuesday nights here on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch. And if
head over. A lot of people are here from Twitch tonight, so head over and find us at the Parents Lounge show and add us and come hang. We have Mindy Sterling's coming up to do the show. Alexis Knapp from Pitch Perfect is coming to the show. And a handful of others.
Yeah, and we just had Andrea Barber, we had Reed Scott, Dave Keckner, Richard Marks we've had on. So go check some of our old stuff library.
Lewis.
Actually, Bert Kreischer was on.
And Jeff Lewis and Ray Romano.
Ray Romano's not on. All right, that's it. We hope you guys make it through another week. We'll see you next time here in the Parents Lounge.
Good night, everybody.